Level 1. The Offer. You are 22. It's October of your senior year, and you've been preparing for this moment since January. Really, much longer than that. You applied to 31 firms. 8 responded. 4 gave you first-round interviews. 2 invited you to Super Days. 1 gave you an offer. That funnel isn't unusual. It's the system working exactly as designed. This world doesn't recruit widely. It selects early, from specific schools, specific grades, and specific signals. It rewards the people who understood the game soon enough and played it with precision. You are one of those people. You made the right choices early. You joined the finance club when it still felt optional. You took the internship no one wanted, the regional bank, the long commute, because you understood it wasn't about where you started, but what direction you were proving. The Super Day lasts 8 hours, a blur of conference rooms and controlled conversations in a midtown building where everyone looks like a variation of the same person. The questions come quickly, but you've rehearsed them so many times that your answers arrive almost automatically. You've practiced late into the night, refining not just what to say, but how to say it. When it's over, you take the train home, sit in the last car, and say nothing for 40 minutes. You don't check your phone. You don't replay the day. You just sit there, staring at your reflection, as if trying to understand who you are now that it's done. The call comes 11 days later on a Wednesday afternoon. You recognize the number before you answer. The recruiter's voice is calm, almost routine, as they read out the details: base salary, signing bonus, start date. You write everything down, not because you need to remember it, but because your hands need something to do, while the rest of you catches up to the moment. When the call ends, you sit still for a second, letting it settle. Then you call your parents. Your father picks up. You tell him the number, and there's a pause on the line. In that silence is everything your family has believed about hard work and where it can take you. You don't have the perfect words ready, so you say the simplest, true thing. I got it. Level 2. The Analyst. You are 22. You arrive on your first day in a suit that cost more than your rent. The elevator opens onto a floor that smells like dry cleaning and espresso. It is quieter than you expected. No one is yelling. No one is throwing anything. It looks like a very expensive library where everyone is silently betting hundreds of millions of dollars, because that is exactly what it is. They sit you next to another analyst. He went to Wharton. He already knows half the people on the floor. He speaks in acronyms you have never heard: EBITDA multiples, EV to revenue, normalized FCF yield. You nod like you understand. You don't understand. You will spend the next year pretending to understand things until you actually understand them. That is, you will learn, a significant portion of the job. You build models. You live inside Excel. Your fingers learn the keyboard shortcuts faster than you learn your new colleagues' last names. You pull data from Bloomberg terminals and organize it into formats that senior analysts request and rarely acknowledge. You run DCFs with 5-year revenue projections. You build comparables tables across 40 companies in your sector. You calculate enterprise value to EBITDA, net debt to equity, return on invested capital. Metrics that would put most people to sleep and that you now dream about on the train home. You sit in on meetings where positions worth more than your parents' house are discussed with the effect of people ordering lunch. You take notes. You arrive before anyone and leave after everyone. The other analysts are your competition. There are 7 of you. Maybe 2 will make associate. Everyone is friendly on the surface. Everyone is calibrating underneath. You cancel plans so consistently that your friends stop asking. You are 23 years old, making more money than your parents, and you have not spent any of it because you have not had time to spend any of it. This does not feel like a problem yet. Level 3. The Analyst Who Gets a Call. Your first real idea comes at the end of your second year. A retail company. Everyone on the street is neutral on it. The consensus price target is flat. You've been covering the sector for 8 months, and you see something in the unit economics that the consensus is missing. Same-store sales growth being masked by new store openings. Gross margins compressing in a way that won't show up in the headline EPS for 2 more quarters. You build a 38-tab model. You stress test the downside in 6 different scenarios. You write a memo. Your senior analyst gives you 5 minutes to present it. He asks 2 questions. He takes it to the portfolio manager. The PM puts $25 million into a short position. You are now watching a single stock price every hour of every day. You refresh your model. You reread your thesis. You talk to 2 more former employees. You find a supplier contact who confirms the margin pressure. You are alone at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday in an office that has emptied out, and you are staring at a screen that hasn't moved in 3 weeks. And you are asking yourself the question that every analyst asks in this moment. Did I miss something? You go back through every assumption. You check the channel checks. You reread the earnings transcripts. You find nothing you missed. The thesis is right. The market hasn't moved yet. This is the specific torture of this job. Being right is not enough. You have to be right, and then you have to wait. And the waiting is the part nobody tells you about. 6 weeks after the position is put on, the company misses earnings by 14 cents. The stock drops 22% in a day. The fund makes $5.5 million. Your senior analyst finds you the next morning. He says 2 words. Nice call. You will remember the exact tone of those 2 words for the rest of your career. Level 4, the Vice President. You are 29, Vice President. The title carries weight, not because of what you do, but because of what it signals. You have survived. The people who started with you, the Wharton analyst, the one everyone said would make partner, the one always last to leave. Some are gone. Different firms. Some left finance entirely. They seem fine. You don't think about it much. You manage client relationships now. You fly to meetings. You sit across from CFOs and executives and represent the firm. Your job is simple. Be the most prepared person in the room. Not the smartest. Prepared. Smart can be improvised. Prepared cannot. The one time you're not, everyone knows within minutes. Your compensation this year is $680,000, base plus bonus. You have a better apartment, a better life on paper, and you start to understand something about money. It's not that people here value it more, it's that they measure with it. At this level, money is a score. The market prints a number every day telling you if you're right or wrong. You can argue with people. You cannot argue with that number. Here's what they don't tell you. It doesn't feel like you thought it would. The apartment gets bigger. The restaurants change. And then the baseline shifts. What once meant everything becomes where you start. The money doesn't make you greedy. It makes you afraid. Afraid of going backward. Afraid of being ordinary again. You were the smartest person in every room growing up. Here, you're average. You've been average for years. That fear becomes fuel. Level 5, the Managing Director. You are 35, Managing Director. Below MD, your value is technical. You build, analyze, execute. At MD, your value becomes relational. You bring in business. You are the reason a CEO calls your firm instead of another. And that doesn't come from models. It comes from presence. Dinners, events, golf courses you don't enjoy, charity galas where a $50,000 table is normal, conferences where the real conversations happen between sessions, not on stage. You've become good at this, better than you expected. You are calm in rooms where others perform. You listen well. You've learned that the most valuable thing you can do is ask one question no one else thinks to ask. People remember that. They call you back. You have a family now, a wife who has been more patient than you've earned, and 2 kids who already understand that your meetings come first. You miss your son's school play. You meant to go. The meeting ran long. By the time you arrive, it's over. He tells you it's fine. He's 7, and he already knows how to say that. You don't know when he learned it. You buy him something the next day. He's happy. And you feel the gap between what you wanted to give and what you gave instead. Money doesn't close that gap. You put that realization somewhere quiet and keep moving. Because the work doesn't stop. The clients don't stop. The firm doesn't adjust because you have a family now. This is the arrangement. You understood it, you chose it, and you keep choosing it. Level 6, the partner. You are 39. Partner. Your name is on the deals now, not buried in small print, but first. When the firm wins a mandate, it's partly because of you, your network, your relationships, the calls you've been making for years. Clients ask for you by name. This is what you worked for, what the long hours, missed plans, and shifting meaning of money were building toward. Your compensation is $3.2 million. You live in a house that required a serious conversation to justify. It's beautiful. You are rarely there during waking hours. One Saturday morning, you wake up with nothing scheduled, something that happens only a few times a year. You make coffee and sit in the quiet of your kitchen. Not peaceful quiet, but the absence of urgency, something you no longer know how to sit inside. You try to relax. You last a few minutes before the impulse to check your phone returns. That evening, at dinner with your wife, you are present in a way you usually aren't. You listen. You ask questions. She looks at you with an expression that isn't unhappy, but isn't happy either. Something in between that has taken years to form. And you understand something clearly. You have built something extraordinary and missed something else. Both are true. There is no single decision you can point to that would have changed it. Every choice made sense at the time. This is the golden cage. You built it yourself. The key is in your pocket. You don't leave. Not because you can't, but because this is the only life that fully makes sense to who you've become. Level 7, the managing partner. You are 47. The firm manages $15 billion. That number defines everything. The economics are massive, hundreds of millions in fees when things work, and fragile when they don't. One bad year can trigger redemptions, shrinking the fund, reducing revenue, forcing out talent, and accelerating more exits. You've seen firms collapse this way. You don't talk about it. You think about it constantly. You run the firm with 2 partners. The system works, but not without friction. You disagree on strategy, risk, and direction. Managing those disagreements without breaking the machine has become your most important skill. It isn't taught anywhere. You learn it through consequences. You travel constantly. Abu Dhabi, Tokyo, Zurich, Hong Kong, Singapore. Investors want more than numbers. They want to look at you and decide if your success is skill or luck. You've given the same presentation so many times it runs automatically. You know every question before it's asked. You know where the skeptic is sitting before he speaks. You choose your words carefully now. One casual comment can move markets. You learned that once and never repeated the mistake. There are no offhand remarks anymore. Not in interviews, not at dinners, not anywhere. Your competitors study you. Your filings, your moves, your patterns. You structure positions to stay ahead of them. It's a game within the game, and you've been playing it long enough to know there's no way out, only better positioning. Level 8, the name on the door. You are 56. You started 30 years ago with $50 million, 2 analysts, and a small office. Some investors believed in your skill. One believed in you. That was enough. The early years were strong until a loss forced investors out and tested your conviction. You stayed, not because you were certain, but because there was nothing else you believed in more. $50 million became $200 million, then $500 million, then $2 billion, then $5 billion, then $15 billion. Each level changed the game. Trader, investor, institution, target. With scale came pressure. Regulators watched. Competitors studied you. Journalists speculated. Short sellers targeted your positions. Success created problems failure never could. You handled investigations, defections, and bad years where you had to sit in front of investors and defend everything you built. You held most of them, not all. That was enough. Your wealth is now in 9 figures. Your name is on buildings. You sit on boards. You've given away more than you once dreamed of earning. In the industry, your name carries weight. Not widely, but precisely where it matters. And still, you come in early. You read reports at 6 a.m. You challenge your team. Not because you have to, but because the market resets every day. It doesn't care about your past. It tests you again, without memory or mercy. That is the only thing that has held your attention for 30 years. You built your life around it, and when you weigh what it gave you against what it cost, the answer is still the same. Your son is 28 now. He chose a different firm. He calls on Sundays. You don't give him answers anymore. You give him questions. He's better than you were at his age. You tell him that. He doesn't believe it yet. He will.